Hi guys, welcome back to Anita Crickets. My name is Anita. I got this order from my male friend and he wanted me to make this pants and top. So when I was making the top, I was like, let me just make a tutorial for the cropped version for my gullies, and then probably for those that want, the longer version and probably want to make the mesh, two-piece the way it is. You can follow through the tutorial and just add extra length to your top, right? The pants, I already have a tutorial for these mesh pants just in case you need them as well. Now let's get into the top tutorial and see how to make it. I am working with Robin 100% acrylic and it is size 2 yarn. Then I am working with a 4.5 millimeter hook, okay? And I'm doubling my strength because I need to get some little bit of gauge because the strands are very, very thin. But if you're working with size 3 yarn, the better. Size 3 is the best, like it would be the best after this one, right? Because, it would have the same, almost the same size. Or DK yarn, because some of you call it DK yarn. To start off, you will need to get your tape measure and just run it across, not up to your shoulders, but there is that little bump after your chest while you get to the shoulders. That's the width that you need to follow from this left end of it to the right end of it, right? So you don't have to make something so wide because we need it to be like the size of the upper bit of a halter top. To start with, I personally, because I'm working a size small to medium, I worked 34 chains, right? And once you have your 34 chains, you're going to get into the second chain stitch from the hook and work a single crochet, just like that. Then you're going to continue working one single crochet into every chain stitch until you come to the end of the row. I'm also writing a pattern for this. I think if it is not out today, it will be out tomorrow so that, the pattern will have sizes small, medium, and large. Then I probably will share a few adjustments for those making other sizes, right? And here we are. We have our single crochets worked until the end of the row. Now to start our very first row of the mesh, we are going to chain 4. 3 of the chains act as a double crochet stitch and the other chain is for the chain gap. And now we are going to turn our work. We are going to skip the second stitch and get into the third. And in there we are going to work a double crochet. See that? Now chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, and this is what you are going to do until you come to the end of your row. So I'm going to let you guys do this until the end of the row, and I'm going to meet you there, then show you what to do. So we have our very first row complete, and this is how it looks like. So to work the next row, I am going to chain 4 and turn my work. Like I said, 3 of the chains act as a double crochet stitch. So I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to be working increments when starting and ending the row. So here I'm going to yarn over into this very first stitch. The very first stitch right there, we work a double crochet. So in this way, this means we have created a V stitch for the very first stitch because we are working an increase. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch, and then you're going to chain 1 and skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next stitch. So this is what you are going to do until you have one stitch left, until you have one chain gap left to end the row. That's where I'm going to meet you guys, then show you what to do, right? So just go on with your mesh until you have one chain gap left, then I'll meet you there. as you can see, I have one chain gap left to end my row, so I'm going to chain one and skip one. Then I'll get into the third chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the previous row, and in there I'm going to work one double crochet, then chain one, work another double crochet into that very same stitch, just like that. So that means we started with a V-stitch and ended with it. Because we are working an increase on both sides of our row, that's when starting and ending the row. Guys, I'm still struggling with cough since last week, so bear with me. To start the next row, we are going to chain 4 and turn our work. 3 of the chains act as a double crochet stitch, and we are going to work a double crochet into the very first stitch. Then we shall chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next stitch. All right, chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next. So what we are doing on this row is not any different from what we have done previously. So you're just going to continue with your mesh until you have one chain gap left to end your row. That's why I'm going to meet you guys then, show you how to end your row before I let you guys work the rest of the rows on your own, right? So do this until you have one chain gap, then I'll meet you there. And here we are. As you can see, I have one chain gap left. So I'm going to chain 1 and skip 1, get into the third chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the previous row, and in there I'm going to work one double crochet, then chain 1, work another double crochet into that very same stitch. So that's where we are. Now, what we have done for the previous 2 rows is what you're going to keep doing until this gets wider and wider, and it is in position to stretch out to meet your, half your bust width, right? It's not like you should make up to half your bust width, but make sure when you stretch it like this, right, it can meet half your bust width. And when you have that, you're going to now follow exactly what we did right here and make another piece of this so that we have 2 of these, right? Just like I do. I already have my 2, so just follow what you have done so that you have 2 of these. And then I'm going to now show you how to join them, okay? So now to join these 2 pieces, we are going to chain 4 and turn our work. It's not any different from what we have done, right? But this is the joining row, so the only difference is going to come when we are joining, the armpit area. So we chain 4, turn our work. 3 of the chains act as a double crochet stitch. Into the very first stitch, we work a double crochet. Then we shall chain 1, skip 1, work 1 double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, work 1 double crochet into the next. And this is what you are going to keep doing until you have one chain gap left to end your row. And I'm going to meet you right here, then show you how we can attach this to the other piece. Here we are. We have one chain gap left, so we are going to chain 1 and skip 1 into the third chain stitch of the 4 chains that started the previous row. We are going to work a double crochet, then chain 1, work another double crochet into that very same stitch, right? Just like that. And once we have this, we are now going to get our second piece, which is right here, right there. All right, and now we are going to just yarn over and get into the very first stitch right there and work our double crochet. I want this end to be weaved in, but I think I'll weave it in later. Yeah, we are going to work our double crochet just like that. Then once we have our double crochet into the very first stitch, we are now still going to chain 1, and into that very same stitch once again we work another double crochet, right? Okay, and then chain 1, skip 1, work 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, work a double crochet into the next. And this you are going to do until you have one chain gap left to end your row. And I'm going to meet you right there, then show you how to connect it to the other end. So guys, here we are. This is what we have. And this is how it looks like. So I'm going to insert, oh, I already worked my, V. So that means into the last chain gap, I chained one, skipped one, worked a double crochet, then chained one once again, worked a double crochet, all into the third chain stitch of the 4 that started the previous row. And once I have that, I'm just going to get into the third chain stitch of the 4 that started this row on the other side and work a slip stitch. So I have joined both ends together, or my armpits together. Now I am starting to work onto the underbust, right? And to work my underbust, I'm just going to chain 4, turn my work, 3 of the chains act as a double crochet stitch. Now I am going to skip that double crochet because I want these 2 double crochets that join the armpit to be one, right? So I'll skip one of them, skip the chain gap, and then just work into the next double crochet stitch. And from here, I'm just going to continue working one chain, working one chain, skipping one, and working a double crochet into the next double crochet stitch, just like we have been doing our mesh. And this I'm going to do all the way around, Now, when you get to the armpit area where we joined, make sure that you take those 2 double crochets, the last one on the front piece and the last one on the back piece, to become one. So when you're working your double crochet, you work it like you work it into them, or rather you can skip one of it and just take it as one stitch. I hope I am getting you guys to understand this. Now when you get to this, like you can see, I have 2 double crochets. I'm just going to work into one of them. The other one is going to be skipped, right? You see that? Then chain 1, I'll skip and just get into the next double crochet stitch. So those 2 double crochets that join under the armpit are going to be one, right? Then from that, once you have that right, we are just going to continue working our mesh all the way until the end right here. When you get right here, you will chain 1 and just work a slip stitch into the third chain stitch of the 4 that started this row right there, right? So let me meet you guys there, show you how it looks like. So guys, here we are, just like you can see. Now to close my row, I'm just going to chain 1 and work a slip stitch into the third chain stitch of the 4 chains that started this row. That's what I was trying to explain. I hope you got it now. So this is how my work looks like. Now to work the next row, it's not going to be any different from this. You will chain 4, turn your work, and skip the next stitch, work a double crochet into the next, and just work your mesh. And to close it off, yes, you work a slip stitch into the third chain stitch that started the row. Okay, so you can go on and on with the length of your top. It's really up to you. I just worked about a couple of rows all the way down the underbust. All the way down the underbust. I think I worked like 3 more rows. Yes. But now I'm going to show you guys how to work the upper bit of your top. All right. So once you are done working your underbust, you could add 3 rows or 4. It's all up to you, honestly. It's all up to you. Up to you on how many rows you need to work for your underbust, or how long you want your top to be. I made mine super cropped before I added more length for my client. And yes, this can be a unisex top, like I showed you in the picture, or it can be, a feminine top. So it's all up to you. Just work your rows, and I'm going to meet you once I am now explaining to you guys how to work the upper bit of our top. So now, to work our top, like our upper bit of the top, we are going to insert our hook into any of the corners at the top, just like you can see. And I'm going to yarn over, pull through my yarn, and work 6 chains. Yes, 6 chains. Now 6 chains because that's the length I need for my band. Okay, for the band across, like I showed you in the picture. Now I'm going to get into the second chain stitch from the hook, and in there I'm going to work a single crochet. Then I'm going to continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until down the row. And you should have a total of 5 single crochets once you get at the bottom of your row. Okay, remember we are working on the opposite side of our foundation chains. Okay, so once you have your single crochets, your 5 single crochets done, we are going to now skip the next stitch that's on the stitches that are at the edge of our foundation chains, like on the opposite side of our foundation chains. We are going to skip the next stitch and work a slip stitch into the second stitch, right? Then after that, we are going to work another slip stitch into that next stitch right there. And now we shall turn our work. Now we are now working along the single crochets, the 5 single crochets of the band. So we get into the first single crochet and work our single crochet just like that, and then work our next 4 single crochets until the top of the row. Okay, now this technique is very, very simple. I started this technique, I think, if you have been following my work, I think I've done this 3 years ago. I think 3 years ago, actually 4, because even before COVID, I used to try to teach you guys how to work your band onto your project without having to work it alone and then hand sew it onto the project. So here we shall chain 1, turn our work, and work our single crochets. You must have 5 of them, so you work 5 single crochets into the next 5 stitches all the way down. And once you have your 5 single crochets, just make sure there are 5. When I make an error, because it's very easy to miss a stitch, so I usually make errors on this. If you have stitch markers, it's easier for you. Just keep marking your row so you don't make errors, but just make sure you have 5 single crochets. I made an error and I had to take it out and just redo it. So let me do this first so that I explain to you guys. So here we are, guys. Just trying to rush through so that I get back to where we were. Now we were working our single crochets, yeah, all the way down. So yes, just make sure you have 5 of them going down. And once you have your 5 single crochets, we are now going to work a slip stitch into the next stitch on the opposite side of our foundation chains. Then once again work another slip stitch into the next stitch on the opposite side of your foundation chains. Then turn your work and now work across our band. So you work 5 single crochets going back up. Okay, you work 5 single crochets going back all the way up until you come to the end of the row. And once at the end of the row, you're going to chain 1, turn your work right. You see what we have so far. Work your 5 single crochets going back down until the end of the row. This technique is very good for waistlines. It's very good for hems on skirts or dresses. It's very good. It's a very neat border design. You can make it with ribbed single crochet for sweaters. You know, it's that good, honestly. So we work our single crochets going back down and then work a slip stitch into the next stitch on the opposite side of our foundation chains. Then work another slip stitch into the next stitch and then turn our row, work your 5, single crochets going back up. And this is what you do all the way until right here at this corner, okay? And after that, you do the very same thing for this top. Also work your band until that corner. So I'm going to meet you once you have both bands complete, then show you what to do. Yeah, then we shall be working along this and our strap. So guys, here we are. I came to the end of my row and worked on the other side as well, and that's how it looks like. So you should have your work look like this. So I'm going to be working along this edge all the way going up. Then from there I will create a band that runs all the way down our armpit and then all the way up for our strap. So to start with, as you can see, you notice that I ended my row at the bottom and I'm just trying to work a few single crochets so I get back to the top. Okay, I get back to the top so that I start from the top working my single crochets going down. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so now I just wanted to get back to the top, and if you find yourself at the bottom, you can either work single crochets or slip stitches to get you back to the top, so that we start from the top and work all the way along that whole entire edge. So we are going to be chain one and turn our work one single crochet into every single crochet stitch, and once we get to the double crochet posts right there, you are going to work 2 single crochets into every double crochet post. Okay, I usually work the first single crochet into the post itself and then work the second single crochet into the bottom of the post. So you will do that all the way going down. If that is confusing you, you can just work your 2 single crochets into every double crochet post. It may look like you're not working enough stitches, but I know that you are working enough stitches. If you feel like your work is cringing, just kind of loosen up a bit, loosen up so that your tension does not get your work to cringe. And just keep working your single crochets, because if you work more than those, then your armpit band is going to be loose, kind of loose. It won't fall onto the body. It will kind of, I don't know how to explain this, honestly. Yeah, but we need a band that, falls onto the body just like this, like snaps onto the body, and not have your armpit fight to rest it down the body, right? So just work your single crochets all the way down and all the way up on the other side. Then I'm going to meet you at the end of the row and show you how we work our band and strap. So guys, this is it. And now, as you can see, my edge is fully worked, and now I'm going to start working on my band. Okay, so I'm going to do the very same thing I did previously. I will chain 6 and turn my work. If you want a wider band, which I don't advise, but yes, you can go for more chains, maybe 8 or 10. But if you're working a wider band, you should make sure you're probably a size large and you just need more extra grip. And then into the second chain stitch from the hook, you're going to work a single crochet and just continue working your single crochets all the way down. You should have a total of 5 single crochets at the end of the row. And once you have your 5 single crochets, we are going to skip the next stitch along the edge, okay, along the edge, and we shall get into the second stitch right there and work our slip stitch. Then here we are going to work 1 slip stitch into the next stitch again. Yes, work your 1 slip stitch right there. Then you will turn your work and then work 5 single crochets all the way up your band. Okay, so work your way up, working 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way, and make sure you have 5 single crochets. If you have less, then you missed a stitch. If you have more, then you probably worked a single crochet into the slip stitch, which you didn't have to work into, and you probably called it a stitch. So you need to have 5. And once you get at the top of the row, you will chain 1, turn your work, and once again, now we are working back down to the edge. So you work 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way down, just like that, and make sure you have 5 single crochets. And here you are now, once you come to the end of your row, you are now going to work a slip stitch into the next stitch on the single crochets that are on the edge of your work right there. Then now to start the next row, we shall work a slip stitch into the next stitch as well. And right there, we shall turn our work. And then now again, work our single crochets onto the band and make sure they are 5 single crochets all the way up. All right. Now, you see that our band is forming, so chain one, turn your work your 5 single crochets. So it's not any different from what we have been doing. Honestly, I just wanted it to be more clear, so you can see clearly how this band is worked, because I feel like the other band was not so clear. So yes, this is how you work. You work your way all the way down and then work a slip stitch into the next stitch on the single crochets that are across your edge. Then work to start the next row, you work a slip stitch into the next stitch as well. Turn your work your single crochets. And this is what we are going to keep doing all the way for all the single crochets across that edge until we are back at the top of our band on the other side, right? So work your way down and then up, and I'm going to meet you after that, then show you what to do. And that's for our strap, right? I'm just going to get back to show you how to work your strap and to join it, and then we shall see that we do the very same thing for the other side of our top. Guys, we have come to the end of the row. This is how our work looks like so far. And now to work our strap, yeah, we are just going to be, working along this up to there. So we are going to chain one from where we stopped and turn our work. And we are going to work our single crochets into the next, 5 stitches. So remember our band was of 5 single crochets. So once you have your 5 single crochets, you are now going to work 1 extra single crochet into the next stitch, which is almost to the band that is across our chest, right? You work an extra single crochet just to, attach these two, so that we have a total of 6 single crochets. Then after that, you will chain one, turn your work 6 single crochets into the next 6 stitches, chain one, turn your work 6 single crochets into the next 6 stitches. And it is that simple, nothing new that we are going to work on this row. So yes, just work 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until you have 6 single crochets, right? And once you have 6 single crochets, you chain one, turn your work. Once again, do the very same thing. Work 1 single crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of the row. And you are going to do this repeatedly for about, I think I made 42. Yeah, I think I made a total of 42 rows from where I have started from all the way for my whole entire strap. I made a total of 42 rows, but the length is adjustable according to how you want your top to fit. So you can just keep trying on and make sure that your strap is long enough the way it is, required to be. Okay, so just do this, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row, at the end of your strap, just to show you how to join it onto the other side of our top. Okay. So guys, here we are. This is my strap. That's how it looks like, and I'm going to now stitch it onto this side of my top. So I just get in there like that and work my single crochets to join the 2 ends together. You can use a yarn needle if a hook is hard for you to use, but I usually don't like switching tools, so I end up using my hook to join them. But yes, join it just like that and cut your yarn, weave in your ends, and now you are going to do the very same thing for this side of your top and make sure that it looks like this. Then bye, you'll have your top complete. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.